Hello traders and welcome to the market opening preview on a Thursday, January 21st, 2016. Traders is brought to you through FXCL Excellence in Trading. Traders come to you live from Pattaya, Thailand. Currently 20:37 hours on Wall Street and 8:37 a.m. on Thursday morning in Bangkok, Thailand. Traders, great to be with you as always. Got a lot to talk about today. Got some pretty interesting charts, I have to say. A couple of charts did some stop runs yesterday, it looks like to me. But yeah, very interesting stuff. But most of our trade plans worked yesterday with a little bit of patience, and hopefully we'll get the same kind of results today. We wanted price action. Well, traders, yesterday we got it. That's for sure. Traders, let me introduce myself to you. My name is William Gilda. I'm your moderator for the market opening preview series that we do every single trading day and is put up before the London Open. Traders, I will tell you that I do record this during the Asia session. So if you're looking at this in London, just go back about 10 candles and you can see where I started this presentation. Traders, I started trading in 2006 and 2008. I retired from a wonderful 27-year career as a firefighter paramedic out of the great state of Florida. Traders, 9 days later, came to Thailand for a 3-month holiday. And, well, traders, I'm in my 8th year, and I'm still here. Guess I'm still on a holiday. Absolutely love living in Asia, and I love trading the Asia time zone. It is really great. I can trade all 3 time zones and still get a good night's rest. However, in New York, I only get about 2.5 hours in the New York session, maybe 3 at the most. But that's getting pretty late. But I get 2.5 in. That brings me about to 11 p.m. And I'm a guy who gets up at 5:30 in the morning, so I still get a good 6 or 7 hours sleep. And my trading day begins. So the way I trade is I use fundamentals, and I'm listening to fundamentals. I do pay for a news feed that talks to me all day long. And so I know what's going on around the world. Remember, we're macro traders. And we trade globally, right? We don't just trade the euro dollar, right? We trade globally. We need to know what's going on everywhere in trading today. However, I don't trade news data as the data is released. I usually wait about 40 minutes later, and then if everything's lined up correctly, I will take the trade in the direction of that trade. So fundamentals is just such an important part of trading, and you have to have a grasp on it, a grip on it, at some point. However, I'm a technician. I love charts. I love candlesticks. I love support, resistance, price action, price structure. I use harmonics as one of my indicators depending on what I'm trading, and I use Ikimoku clouds depending on what I'm trading. I do trade 3 instruments, to be honest with you. Forex is my main trading instrument. However, in New York, I do trade options and futures. I trade the European futures. So, I'm pretty diversified, and I think that's the way you should be. I think you should keep an open mind and look into other things and slowly get into it and start slow and work your way up. And that's what I'm doing. Got to be diversified. All right, that's enough about me. Let's get to the legal stuff and get that out of the way. Forex trading has a large potential rewards, but also a large potential of risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex markets. Most importantly, traders, please do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Traders, always remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's talk about some news and commentary. Let's look at the indices. The Dow 30 closed negative 1.56%. The S&P 500 closed negative 1.17%. The Nasdaq closed negative 0.12%. And the small cap 2000 closed positive at 0.73%. Let's head out over to the Eurozone, and the DAX closed negative 2.82%. The FTSE 100 closed negative 3.46%. The CAC 40 out of Paris closed negative 3.45%. And the Euro Stoxx 50 out of Frankfurt closed at negative 3.51%. Ooh, not good, huh? All right, let's take a look at what's going on in Asia. Remember, these countries are currently open and trading. The Nikkei 225 is up at 0.98%. The S&P ASX 200 is in the green at 0.83%. The China 850 out of Shanghai is negative 0.76%. And the Hang Seng is positive 1%. And Kospi out of Seoul is also positive 0.30%. So that's what's going on in our indices. Let's take a look at our economic calendar and see what is going on. Let's see what we got here. We have data today, and I think that's a good thing. Earlier today, we had inflation expectations, which was medium impact and was in line, I guess, with expectations, even though there wasn't a forecast. However, the London session looks pretty boring. Most of our data is coming out towards the New York session, where the euro is given its minimum bid rate and then an ECB press conference. So I would assume that means ECB President Draghi will be speaking today. And out of the U.S., we have Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, which is a high impact. These are all high impact. And we have unemployment claims that come out today. And the big one that I think most people are going to be pretty much interested in is going to be crude oil inventories. And they expect to have 3.3 million in that. So pretty boring London session, but coming into London lunch and then transitioning into the New York session, we are pretty active data-wise, so we should have some movement going on. Charts really fun. I have to be honest with you. I've done my analysis. I've looked at the charts, and I think it's fun. My commentary is basically China and oil is ruling the world at the moment. China went below $28 yesterday, and I think some people are really starting to grab a hold of this and starting to get alarmed by it. You take countries like Canada, and that just depends so much on oil and the production of oil because they export oil, right? And then you take China and all these countries that use oil, and they're getting hit pretty hard, right? And China's in a slowdown, and it's now becoming quite obvious. They injected so much today. I think they said it's the most they've injected in a year and a half. So I think the oil situation is starting to hit an edge where countries that rely on oil for product production or whatever, it's starting to affect it, and of course it's going to affect our markets. However, just remember this, and I heard this and it just hit me like a stick across the head, that when people buy oil, how do they buy it? They buy it in dollars, right? They buy it in dollars. You got to keep that in mind. You don't see the U.S. freaking out, right? And what happened over the weekend? The first oil tanker filled with oil was on its way to China, right? We are now exporting oil from the United States to China. Now, if you remember back 3 months ago, China and Russia got into a little tussle about the oil situation, and basically Russia said, we don't want your oil no more. So China said, okay, we'll get it somewhere else, I guess. So it's getting pretty interesting now that the U.S. is exporting oil to China. I thought that was a very interesting. I read it somewhere over the weekend, and it's just amazing, absolutely amazing. So that's what's going on with that. Wow, we're 9 minutes into this already. I've really gone on a tangent there. Taking a look at the euro dollar, beautiful trade yesterday. Just worked out. Took our hit up target, what we were looking for, and now we have a brand new trading day. This just needs a pullback. We need this to pull back as close to that 200 exponential moving average, hopefully the 1.0896, and we will continue to sell this. Okay, so we need some dollars dollar weakness. Hopefully in Asia and the beginning of London. By London lunch, we can get this to come back down through the New York session and hit our target. So that's what we're looking for. We're just looking for this to move along here and keep stair-stepping its way down. And we're out of the ugly part of the chart, right? All that nonsense we looked at yesterday. However, we don't want to take this trade here because here we're at 1.0872 and we have resistance where we want to take profit at 1.0860. So we're 12 pips away from our take profit area, right? Which is significant support. So this is not the place you want to take this trade. You want this to pull back. And if it goes past the 200 exponential moving average, which is that green line on your chart, and goes to the daily pivot point, great. We'll short it from there. But we do need some kind of a pullback to get into this trade. Okay? But we're still, our bias is still to the downside, folks. Nothing's changed. This pair is still bearish. All right, let's take a look at the pound. And yes, traders, this is the exact same chart as yesterday. It actually did come and almost hit our resistance line, that purple line, and it did come and give us a bearish candle to the downside. And if you were brave enough, you jumped in there and caught that, and you made some pips yesterday. But on the whole, it really didn't move much, and there was a lot of data out of the pound yesterday. Some good, some bad, but we're looking for the same effect today. We need this to come up to this R3 pivot, which is at 42.09, and we'll take profit at 41.32. I mean, this is we're like right, we're just about there, right? And I have to be honest with you. I mean, I think if I saw a bearish candlestick formation and some confirmation, maybe on a higher time frame or a lower time frame, I would short this now. I mean, I don't think we need to wait to short this. I want it to move up because I want my drawdown to be less, right? You know, now your drawdown's got to be above that purple line, which is a resistance line. So, you know, you have to put your stop above there. And I know we don't talk about stops very much. And the reason I don't talk about stops is not because I don't want to. It's just that when you talk about stops, I don't know what your account size is. I don't know how you trade. I don't know what your money management program is. So when it's hard for me to talk about stops when I don't know what traders use for their stop. Okay, I use the 1% rule. I risk 1% on each trade of my trading account, and I don't risk no more than 5% on a day. So that means I can basically be in 5 trades at one time. But on the norm, I'm never in more than 3 trades at one time. I hope that didn't confuse you, but normally it's 3 trades at one time. Let's take a look at the Aussie. The Aussie did a nice little stop run there, didn't it, huh? This thing just took off yesterday, and away she went, and she knocked all those other people out. So now we're seeing the result of a double top. Right, this is a perfect double top, right? Where is it? Right at our resistance line that we put in yesterday, that purple line, right? And there we are, and here we are, and now we're just looking for a bearish candlestick. I'm going to short it. I mean, we're at a perfect spot. I wish we had a bearish engulfing candle right now and I'd short it. Where's my stop going to go? I'm going to go right above that purple line. I guarantee you it's going to be like 12 pips and 13 pips maybe. And that's going to be my risk because the trade's either going to work or it's not. It's either going to continue to the upside or it's going to go and continue to be bearish. Don't take focus off the main picture of the Aussie, folks. The Aussie is short. We want to sell the Aussie, right? Okay? So in this situation, I want to short this. I do not want to buy this. And we're at a great spot to do that right now. This is a great trade setup. This is, I think, probably the best one of the best ones, I have to say. Let's look at the Euro Aussie. This made a pretty big move itself. This just tanked yesterday. Our trade plan worked out perfect, and again, today we're looking at the same thing. I'm just looking for the pullback. You know, we're at support, and I'm looking for a pullback to 1.5761. I'll get out at 1.5614, and we'll just take this, take this bad boy back down. I sure don't want to short it here. We're coming into a pivot point. We're coming into a support zone. There's no reason to short this here. We need to wait and be patient, and we need a pullback. or this is going to break all this, continue down, and we'll look for a retrace, and get a retest, and then short it from there. So you have a couple of options of how you can get into this. You might need to go down on a 15-minute chart maybe to help you out to get in this. I don't trade a 5-minute or a 15-minute chart. Once in a while, I'll look at a 15-minute if I really can't get into the trade. But I think this will pull back, and we'll see how it goes. And, we're heading into the slow time of the Asian markets. So we're starting to slow down now. So keep an eye on that. Here's the euro yen. Finally decided to do something. I'm glad to say. Actually, our trade yesterday worked. It popped out of that range and went to the downside, and that's what we wanted. And it's come back up in the New York session, and now we're above the daily pivot point. This is great. This is a great trade setup for us, folks. Let this come all the way back up to that 127.86 area, the 200 exponential moving average, and we will take this back down to the daily pivot point, and we will get out. Remember, I talk about wide open spaces. Well, this trade would be a wide open space trade. We're going to come back down from that 200 exponential moving average, which is that green line. And if you look left to the chart, there is no jump there. There's no price action there. You can basically just ride this right back down to the daily pivot point where we start getting into what I call Forex junk left of the chart. A lot of price action, a lot of candles, a lot of mess, right? So we have a nice clean trade opportunity here. And I would stay in this trade a long time. The yen is strong, and it's a lot stronger than the euro. And I would really like to get in this and take this all the way down on 126.63. So if we can get as close as we can to that 200, and I'd put my stop 12 pips above that 200 exponential moving average, and that would be it, folks. And, we're looking for some big pips here. We're looking to go to 126.55. We're looking at like over 150 pip trade here. And it's just, this is a beautiful trade setup. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, let's head over to New Zealand. Wow, I can't believe the time flies. Again, this decided to give us a little jerk yesterday, and decided to do a little stop run there also and moved up, which is fine. We wanted this to get there, if you remember, and we're there. We're at the daily R1 pivot, and we'd love to get in this now at 0.6456. If I had a bearish engulfing candle, I will tell you right now I would enter this trade. We have a couple of loops to jump, though. One is we have a 200 exponential moving average, and I'm not sure if you're going to be, let's see, 43.35. Well, you're going to be 23 pips in profit, so you can get to break even, depending on how you want to take that trade. Because at that 200 exponential moving average, I think you're going to get a bump, but I don't think it's going to be severe. Then you have the daily pivot point, where I think you're going to get a bump. But again, I don't see a lot of price action left in the chart, so I think it's going to go right through it. And then we're coming down to our take profit area at 0.6349, which is another just super trade here. This great opportunity here. And price is right where we want it. We just need a bearish candlestick formation with some confirmation, and we will short this. Short it now. Short the New Zealand dollar. All right, traders, that wraps up our 6 currency pairs. Hope you got something out of that. Yes, we are over our time today. Coming up on 19. Traders, on behalf of myself, William Gilday, and our great friends at FXCL Excellence in Trading, I want to thank you for joining me on a Thursday, January 21st, 2016. Traders, if you would, come visit us at fxclearing.com for your trading solutions. It's a great website. Go check it out. A lot of opportunities, a lot of trading, a lot of education, and an awesome economic calendar. Traders, take care. Always remember to trade smart and not hard. Take care, traders, and I'll see you in about 24 hours. See you now.